Welcome back to Battalion Wars 2 co-op missions. Co-op mission number 3 is Under Siege, a map that I don't particularly like. I think it's a very poorly designed map, mostly because getting an S rank on this map is, in my experience, completely down to luck. Yeah, that's not good. In fact, this entire map is pretty much everything that was wrong with the final mission of the single-player campaign doubled up. To start with, I am playing as Tundra in this mission, with the Western Frontier as my ally. Tundra gets a battle station in this mission, and of course it doesn't respawn, but fortunately it's not what you need to clear the level. In this mission, you need to first take out this fuel storage tank. It's listed as a secondary objective, but it's right in your way anyways, and you might as well just have all of those heavy tanks explode simultaneously. Then you have anti-air towers to take out, and once those are destroyed, we'll have bombers and fighters on our side, and then our ground battalion gets completely forgotten about and never used ever again in the entire mission. So, what this level has set up for us is that the Tundrans have a battle station and 4 mortar veterans, which will never be used because the battle station's firepower is far superior to anything a mortar veteran could possibly do. The Western Frontier has 2 anti-air vehicles and several bazooka veterans. So in this particular mission, if the battle station gets axed, you're not completely screwed quite yet. You still have a chance if the Western Frontier player is good with his bazooka veterans. Of course, there's gunships in the level, and that's what the anti-air vehicles are for. Western Frontier player guards the battle station with his or her anti-air vehicles, and the Tundra player gets to handle pretty much everything else. We're coming up on the fuel storage tank here. I want to mention that you should never ever stand next to the refueling station as you're blowing it up, because of course the explosion will catch everything within about a couple yards radius and take them out instantly. Please do not stand next to the refueling station as it's being blown up. This is a terrible idea. Now, apparently, certain co-op players don't get this message when they get blown up by the fuel storage tank the first time. In my experience, I've had many players blow themselves up next to the thing. It's just, no. Now, the battle station is likely to take a fair amount of damage from everything that we just went through, so go ahead and take as many refueling cans as you need. The rest of this is pretty much a formality if the battle station survived. The gunships are infinitely respawning, but fortunately, each wave of gunships is completely and perfectly telegraphed. Now, I just took a look at the map there because I didn't know if my partner was following me or not. He kind of needs to be following me or else I'm going to get shot down by gunships. Nothing but assault veterans and heavy tanks up until the anti-air towers, so you really just need... I really only need the anti-air vehicle. I don't really care about anything else. It's important to get no casualties. Well, I suppose at least don't lose the battle station if you want that 100% technique rank that you're probably going to lose out on in the next segment anyways. Also watch out for those exploding oil drums over to the right there, because it is very easy to run over them and take unnecessary damage. Make sure to get every single grunt. I'm pretty sure nothing's hiding in the tents. It would be very silly if there was. Just some MG nests. Now it's going to take a while to get rid of the anti-air towers. They each take a whole 2 battle station shots. That's a pretty durable anti-air tower. Just shooting up everything. I love it when all of the little mini turrets on the battle station are going off. It's hilarious. No, I don't need help from my partner. I just need to destroy this thing before the enemies destroy me. With all that out of the way, hopefully these guys will end it quicker by shooting at the thing, yes. Now, we're not going to use the battle station at all for the rest of the mission because now comes the air portion. You have a couple of fighters, a couple of bombers. Each player has a couple of fighters and bombers, so it's not necessarily over for good if one of you loses all of your units, and I like that. It's not like the previous 2 maps where it was pretty much over. Oh, by the way, brace yourselves for the return of the mining spider. Yes, no longer searching underground for any weapons of mass destruction or anything left over from people who think tossing their weapons of mass destruction in the ground is a good idea. He's just content to blow up an entire city by tunneling under it. So, believe it or not, the bombers can actually damage the thing. We don't need the battle station anymore. Which, you know, is really weird, because if in the final mission of the game you had just called in bombers on this thing, it would have been over much quicker and much less of a headache for everybody involved. Anyhow, the enemy fighters in this part of the level are infinitely respawning, and that's annoying because, you know, between the fighters and the lasers and the dreadnoughts, it's going to be pretty difficult to not lose all of your units here. So I tend to just play through it as quickly as possible and hope for the best. Now you need to destroy the dreadnoughts in order to get 100% power. The dreadnoughts count for power. I don't know why. It's just a silly thing. Well, there goes one of the bombers. Hopefully this other one will be enough to destroy the remaining dreadnought and the rest of the mining spider. You know, it might be a better strategy to just control a fighter and focus on taking down enemy fighters and just have the bombers, like, commanded. Just have the AI bombers handle the dreadnoughts and everything else. But we didn't go that route, so it was down to luck for us. There we go, mining spiders destroyed, but it's not quite the end of the level. And I noticed the dreadnought still had its little marker on top of it, I think. That's pretty funny when your gameplay actually affects a cutscene. Anyhow, a last-ditch effort is for more battle stations. Bombing them should be pretty easy, but of course you still have the fighters to worry about, and if they shoot down the bombers, now it's over. If they shoot down all the bombers, it's game over. So we gotta get rid of them as quick as possible. It's also game over if they destroy the mausoleum, which, you know, why does everyone care about destroying that thing? Does it banish Tsar Gorky's ghost if they get rid of it? Why do they care about that? So let's get rid of these battle stations. It's pretty routine, just fly your bomber over them a couple of times, but you gotta be quick, because that mausoleum can't really take much damage. There's one down. Just a couple more now. I still find bombers to be a little tricky to control in this game, but not as much as other units. I really hate that bombers can't barrel roll. I don't think it would make much sense if they could, but it's really annoying that you can't do a thing about the fighters shooting at you if one of them decides to lock on. That's 2 down. Fortunately, the last 2 are at very low health. Yeah, show that battle station being destroyed in the cutscene. That was very much necessary. That's the last of them. So yes, a very annoying map, mostly due to the infinitely respawning fighters in the latter 2 sections. Cutscene also pretty much drags on for too long. Yeah, I turned off all of the voice acting so that I wouldn't be interrupted by the giant talking heads, but, you know, oh well, it's fine. So that wasn't my favorite co-op mission, but, you know, they had a thing going with that one. Let's see what our score is. Yep, pretty much what I expected. Of course, I record, this is all post-commentary, so I know what's going to happen anyways. Most of the losses there were the air units, of course. It's pretty common. 7 minutes. Not a long time to complete the mission, but it's pretty much all you need. Next up is the final co-op map, Storm the Beaches, which has the Solar Empire and the Tundran territories fighting against the Anglo Isles. A pretty neat scenario to be in. It also lets you play as the Solar Empire's gunships, finally. Took them long enough to give us a whirl in those babies. Pretty simple mission this time around. Just capture this HQ and don't die. It's not going to be easy though, because the level is flooded with Anglo-Isles bombers. So, the Tundran player starts with a couple of battleships, which are pretty nice. The Solar Empire player has a couple of 4 gunships, and both sides, I believe, have naval transports that need to be protected until they reach the shoreline. I'm beginning to wonder why they don't just fly stuff in after their navy units just take out all of the defenses by that HQ. But, oh well, that would make for a very interesting level. The gunships are meant to be used against the battleships, and the battleships are meant for taking out those sea fortresses. Thing is, though, the sea fortresses are a very minor threat. I mean, they apparently have RPG towers on them. But they're really not that big of an issue. They do mitigatable damage. So have both players focus on one battleship at a time, then take out the sea forts if you feel it's really necessary. It's one battleship taken care of. The Solar Empire player can also fly ahead and destroy all of the ground forces on the beach in order to save some time later on once the naval transports get there. In particular, there's an artillery on the beach that you want to take care of, because those are horrendously annoying when the enemy uses them. In fact, let's go right ahead. I don't know why the map is marking those searchlights, but might as well destroy them. They might be important for something. Maybe it's what lets the enemy see you? I don't know. There's also a lot more destructible objects that are marked on the map for some reason. There are also some RPG towers. Those are pretty easy to destroy. Once we have all of these infantry dealt with, and once you have all of the defenses taken care of, the naval transports automatically advance to the beach, which is very helpful. I like when the game just, says, okay, you've proven that you can get the transports to the beach. You can go ahead and move on. Now for the rest of the map, it's pretty much going to follow this pattern. The gunships are meant for destroying armored units. The battleships are meant for taking out anti-air towers, and there are a fair number of those, so you've got to watch out. Only the Solar Empire player has access to anti-air veterans, so those are going to be what you use to take down the bombers. I don't know why the Tundrans didn't bring in a frigate, but you know them. They're always strange. Everyone in this game is strange. Always having to fight under the most awkward conditions. The Tundran player has, I believe, mortar veterans? Yeah, mortar veterans. It's mortar veterans. And both players have grunts. Of course, since the Tundran player is going to be focusing entirely on working with their battleship, I don't see why you would even give them infantry in the first place. Maybe just in case the Solar Empire runs out. You do need infantry to capture the HQ as always, so it's possible that was the reason for that. I don't know, I think they could have come up with a more interesting level idea than this. It's basically a repeat of From Tundra with Love, sans the James Bond reference. So let's see here, we just gotta wait for the battleships to clear out the anti-air towers. It's kind of annoying that you have to sit there and wait. And of course, any and all surprise attacks will be totally telegraphed by a call over the radio. One bomber and one light tank, which is, oddly enough, already destroyed. There's their artillery. Actually, this level does have one interesting thing about it, but that'll be coming up in a couple of minutes. So there's an MG tower there. There's a POW camp in that area. Of course, he tries to fly in 2 light tanks, but if my anti-air veterans are quick enough, they can destroy them. Oh, one of them anyways. The other one was landed way too far away from there and I didn't notice it. So let's see here. What is the other player trying to do? The anti-air towers aren't destroyed yet. Alright, there we go. This POW camp has Solar Empire Bazooka veterans and Tundran Flame veterans. Again, I question why the Flame veterans are there, because we have gunships and we have battleships. We don't need Flame veterans. There's another bomber here. He tries the same thing over and over again. Just send in more light tanks and bombers, guys. That'll fix all of your problems. You know, I'm beginning to think the reason why there aren't more co-op maps and more maps for multiplayer in general is that they thought for some reason that they would have to create voice acting for every single map they create and model the thing. Anyhow, this section kind of forces the Solar Empire player to work without Tundra's help because the battleships are way too far away from here. They can't go on land, so they'll be way too far away to help you. But that's what the bazooka veterans are for, and that's really clever because there are still more anti-air towers, but you have bazooka veterans for taking them out. Or was it just that one anti-air tower? Well, there's bound to be more in this area up ahead here. Actually, there's another enemy battleship that I should probably be helping take care of. Oh, but there are anti-air towers, so we'll have to wait on them. Oh dear. Artillery and a battleship. Yeah, we're gonna need to handle this with the gunships. Let's see if we can get a pretty good spot for attacking it without getting the attention of any anti-air towers. The bazooka veteran should be able to shoot at the battleship, actually. But the gunships are handling it just fine. Oops. Although, he did manage to get a shot in on us. No, buddy, you gotta use a charge shot. What was I thinking when I played this? Oh, and of course, my charge shot got interrupted by sliding down the hill of sand there. That's unfortunate. I don't actually think they... Well, actually, they could just swim, so what am I thinking? Now they have to swim. Isn't that odd? Of course, I'm probably going to lose more of them now. Let's get rid of that artillery. I don't care about the anti-air tower anymore. Maybe that's what the searchlight is for. It helps the anti-air tower see you, just like in Battalion Wars 1, I guess. Oh well. So that frees the second set of POWs. It's nothing but more anti-air veterans and flame veterans. No, I'm sorry, mortar veterans. And up until the HQ, there's probably one more enemy anti-air veteran, and that's pretty much it. Just as far as anti-air defenses go, there'll be some light tanks and MG towers, but once those are taken out, the mission is pretty much done. This isn't really a hard mission compared to Under Siege or Crack Squad, so this isn't really a high note to go out on. Fortunately, we'll be out of co-op mode and we'll be into... Oh, you've got to be wary of the additional bomber there. It's actually wrecking the Tundran battleships. Oopsies. Maybe I can shoot it down with a gunship. Well, if you're really good, you could probably hit it. So once we're out of co-op mode, we'll be into either assault mode or skirmish mode. I haven't decided yet, but they're both, they have some interesting things about them. They're both versus modes, but we'll get to that when we get to that. And that is that. I wonder if I could ram my gunship into a wall during the cutscene like I did in that one Frontier level. Maybe I'll try that sometime. Anyhow, the score is... Oh, almost perfect. I missed some units. Well, we missed some units. We missed